Hi, this is Nicole Zembrodt with All Bengals, and today I am joined by Bengals legend Ken Anderson. Ken, thanks for joining me.
The pleasure's all mine, Nicole.
Always great catching up. It was great seeing you a couple weeks ago at Sam Hubbard's foundational event for fouling. So I wanted to get you on here, get you with everybody and catch up and see what's going on. The Bengals had that season to remember with just everything going on in the Super Bowl run, coming up ultimately short. Did they address this offseason what they needed to get back to the Super Bowl come next season?
Well, no, I think so. I mean, I think the big need that everybody saw during the season was the number of quarterback sacks. And, to go out, I thought it was important to go out quickly in free agency and sign offensive linemen. And then they signed three veterans, I think, that are pretty good players. So I think, that's pretty exciting. And, I was telling a lot of people, I think the Bengals can be better this year than they were last year because of that addressing the offensive line. I think that'll make their running game better. Therefore, your play action's better. Joe's got more time to throw. We know we've got the weapons on the outside. But, I think saying that, I think you have to temper the excitement a little bit because I remember, in 1981 season, we went to the Super Bowl, got beat by the 49ers. And I thought, man, we're going to go back next year. We've got everybody back. We're a good football team. And it was a strike-shortened year, but we still were tied for the best record in the league and hosted our first playoff game. And lo and behold, the Jets came in and kind of rolled right over us, and our season's over. And so it's hard to repeat. This year, I mean, so many things went the Bengals' way. They stayed as injury-free as any team in the league. COVID didn't disrupt them as much as some of the other teams that they faced. And, at the end, the field goal kicker got hot and they won the close games. So can all that fall into place again? I certainly hope so. But I do know one thing, the Bengals are here to stay for a number of years.
And you kind of touched on it in that answer. But what exactly, especially from a quarterback standpoint, is the significance of the off-season additions of Collins and Kappa and Karras, just the additions to the offensive line?
Well, I think it's going to give, Joe that little extra time. I think we've got solid veterans in there. At least the reports on them are they're going to really upgrade, our offensive line. But again, it's I think if you talk to Anthony Munoz or Dave Lapham, the key to an offensive line is their cohesion. As Lapham said, it takes all five to kind of make a fist, to be successful. And I know that, Frank Pollock is a good offensive line coach. I'll know he'll work hard with them. But like I say, I think, I go back to every good year that I had, a successful year, and those five guys up front were pretty good.
And Joe Burrow did take a league high of sacks this season. And he recently said in a podcast that not all sacks are bad. He talked about third down sacks, how he wasn't just that a third down sack isn't bad. He wanted to see what he could do with the ball as long as possible. And if he took a sack, he took a sack. What are your thoughts on that? Are all sacks bad?
Well, certainly I think from an offensive line coach's standpoint, they are because, those numbers go against his guys. But, I think Joe makes a point there. Certainly on third down, you want to have a chance to make a play. And how many times did we see him get out of the pocket and make the play, whether it's the Jamar Chase or the T. Higgins or Uzama, whoever it may be? I think, when you don't want it to happen is if you're in the red zone to take it out of field goal range, which I think happened a couple times last year.
And he said that too when he was talking about it. He's like, of course, if we are in field goal range, I'm not going to take the loss. But yeah, just wanted your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, you analyze, when, I was playing, I just held the ball too long. That's my fault. I missed the hot read. The ball should have come out earlier. So I think the quarterback and the offensive line work in concert. And certainly, the wide receivers, have to be open on time, as well. So it all fits in. But the one thing I think that's been exciting is to see the offense progress in the 2 years that Joe has been here. And, and now, 2 years with Zach Taylor in the system, and to see how that's grown. And, with the addition of Jamar Chase last year with the weapons that they've got, I think it'll be exciting offensive football this year.
And what has been, in your opinion, Joe Burrow's biggest improvements in his first 2 seasons, if you call it 2 seasons, year and a half or so, in the league?
Well, I don't know. I think it's his understanding of the offense. I mean, this guy works as hard at it, as anybody. And I give a lot of credit to Zach and, for this as well as Joe. But it's like, I remember for our Ring of Honor induction ceremony, it was, against Jacksonville, and I think that was the game that, it's kind of going into overtime, and they got a 3 wideout set, and Joe sees the 0 blitz and the audibles to the wide receiver screen, except the wide receiver was Uzama. Well, but it's just that Joe knew what he wanted to do, but the other guys on the offense knew how to respond to it. And I've heard that, on Fridays that they'll take the guys and just line them up in formations and call the plays, and you guy may be in a different spot. So they've been through it and knew what to do. And of course, that was the big play that set up the winning field goal that game. So, his understanding of the game and his poise are just unbelievable for a young guy.
What are your expectations for Burrow this season?
Well, I think it's going to be another step in the right direction. It's going to be better than the year before. Like I say, I think having a little bit more time, not getting the hits, there'll be some drives that will be extended because they're not in 3rd and long situations. So, and again, I think we'll see an offense now that you got to run Burrow. You got to run Mixon. Well, you got to have some holes to run the football, as well. And I think that takes a lot of pressure off a quarterback when you can be successful running the football as well.
Do you see any similarities in Burrow's play or his approach to the game as when you played?
Well, I think it's so much different now. I know at my 3rd year in the league, we were still only a 40-man roster, and we couldn't go 3 wide receivers. You only had 3 on the team. You couldn't go 3 tight ends. You only had 3 on the team. And so the game wasn't as wide open as it is now. And, but he's used to that from, his years in college down at LSU. And, he's been a winner everywhere he's been. So, I think, all said and done, he's going to be the best quarterback the Bengals have ever had.
Wow. Passing you up?
Oh, no question.
As you watched the team this past season and just this youth, this core that they have, did it bring you back? Did you have any deja vu moments, flashbacks to that 81, that early 80s teams that you were a part of?
Well, I think, this was a little bit different than our 81 team because, I think at least from a team standpoint, we were 6-10 the year before with Forrest. But, we, except for the opening game when I got benched, we got off to a pretty good start. And we were in contention early where, this team kind of took a while to kind of, hit their stride. I don't think there were any expectations on this team at the beginning of the year. And all of a sudden, my gosh, they're going to win the division. They're going to win a playoff game. They're going to win 2 playoff games. Oh my God, they're going to the AFC championship. They win the AFC championship. It was kind of a surprise to everybody. They're not going to sneak up on anybody this year.
So you were inducted into the Bengals Ring of Honor as the inaugural class last year. Just take us through what that day was like, what it was like for you when you got the call that you were going to be in that first class, just the emotions of it all.
Well, it was exciting to go in, number one with Anthony and Paul Brown and to Kenny Riley. I think the thing that was exciting for me is that it generated a little interest in the old guys, if you will, and kind of brought back some of those memories and some of the attention. You got guys like Bob Johnson and Bob Trumpy that were original guys. Tommy Casanova, I mean, what a great safety he was. And of course, Kenny Riley and Lamar. I mean, we had some great players back in those early days, in the early 70s. So kind of bringing back some of those memories, was really exciting. And, that was the only game I got to go to. My back was really bothering me. And so I think the part I remember about the most is we had that dinner at the Icon Center beforehand. And Anthony and I had done an interview with the NFL Network before that, and they had golf carts to take us over there. And I remember it ended, and one of the girls that was helping us out, it might have been Alex Simon. I forget who it was. Well, if you want to take the shuttle, go this way. Otherwise, we're going to walk over this way. And I was going to, along with Anthony and Kenny Riley's son, to be the ruler of the jungle. Well, I'm going to take the shuttle back over there. Well, I go that way. Now, all of a sudden, it's a big van, and now we're out into traffic, and I'm calling Allie. We're sitting here, and I got 20 minutes. I got to do this, and so finally, I just told the van to open the doors, and my wife Christy and I we couldn't run, but I'm trying to walk as fast as I could, and she said, "Where are you?" I'm coming up to the visitors entrance. She says, "Go there and wait." And one of the girls picked us up there, and they said, "Don't worry, they don't need credentials there with me." We went through parts of the state I never knew, but I'm walking all the way up and down stairs, and we get there with about 5 minutes to spare. And I go, "Oh, my back is killing me." And so that was my exciting time.
Yeah. Man, that's a story for sure. What was it like being around the fans that night too, and just the ceremony at halftime and receiving the round of applause and all of that?
Well, and the Bengals were so gracious to give me a suite for all my kids and grandkids, and nice. My sister came down, and Christy's siblings were all there, and I think what was special for me is, they knew Grandpa played football, but to be there and to kind of see this and what was going on, I think that was pretty special for me, and I think it was pretty special for them as well.
So you keep your ties in Cincinnati, go to and from Hilton Head, have your stuff down in Hilton Head, a lot of involvement with your Ken Anderson Alliance. Do you have anything coming up that you'd like people to know about?
Well, we've got Dave Lapham and I have a big golf tournament coming up on June 20th, I believe it is. And I think there's still a few foursomes left for that. But, that was, it says Ken Anderson Alliance. And the alliance part is important because we're putting this golf tournament on with the Down Syndrome Association of Greater Cincinnati. And, we're both fighting the same battle to make the lives of those with disabilities better. And so that's going to be, a fun time coming up. But if you go to our website, kenandersonalliance.org, it'll tell you about all the things we've got coming up through the summer. I think we're going to have a little bourbon tasting that I'm going to be involved with, and a chance for a few people to come and go through that process with me at New Riff Distillery. And then we're going to have kind of a party at opening day, where you can get a ticket to kind of come in that and maybe get one of the bottles of that special bourbon. So, but there's a lot of things going on. I'm going to have a golf event on October 10th as well. So that's been, a lot of fun. And, it's fun for me to come back all the time. And number one, because the foundation, well, that's number two. Number one is the grandkids. But, I'm hoping things change a little bit. I've never met Joe Burrow. Since he was drafted, the COVID protocols that have been in place, I couldn't get near the locker room. And I'm used to going down there on a Friday and going in the equipment room and going in the training room and up and talking to coaches and seeing the players in the locker room. And I haven't been able to do that in 2 years. So that's the part that I really miss. And so I'm hoping this year that one of the times I'm up there, they've got OTAs going on and I can go to barge in down there and come up and go to training camp again and bring my grandkids to training camp, which they love. So I'm looking, forward to all that as well.
You'll definitely have to share a picture of you and Joe if you're able to get one on your Twitter, for sure.
Well, I will try to do that. And but no, it's, I admire this guy so much. And, not only for the quarterback that he is, but, for the leader that he's become in that locker room and as such a young player, but using his platform to make a difference. With what he's done, with feeding the hungry in Athens County and that. And, and I know I think he's in the process of officially starting his own foundation, but, he understands that he can make a difference in Cincinnati. And, he's kind of following in the list of quarterbacks. I was the NFL Man of the Year back in 1975. Boomer was involved in that. I mean, the great things that Andy Dalton did while he was here. So he's kind of following that traditions of quarterbacks helping out, and he's doing a tremendous job.
Well, Ken, it's great to catch up with you as always. Give him a follow on Twitter. If you do not, we'll link you down here. Ken, we'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Nicole. I really appreciate it. Let's get together soon.
Absolutely. Let's do it.